How am I even supposed to thrive when I can't do anything?
Today we spoke to Steve Kelly, who is the Vicar of St Giles Church in Northampton.
Well, that was another good conversation with Steve. I like Steve, actually. He's a good guy, and I like his Northern Irish accent. It's nice. I used to work with some Northern Irish guys, and they all could talk. That's all I'm saying. And I think Steve did a good job of talking today. That was good. It was good. But I thought he just set us off. That his first quote, I think, is it's a good tweetable quote, which is that Jesus wants us to have life to the full rather than a full life.
Yeah, absolutely. And I loved how he spoke about Mary and Martha along with that as well, that in Mary is sitting at the feet of Jesus and she's not doing the dishes, she's not getting involved like that, but she's starting with Jesus, and that maybe Martha had something to learn there as well. But really, if Martha wasn't doing the dishes, then we could have an issue.
Yeah, that's true. He managed to really get this balance of going. It's not one or the other, but it's actually getting the things in the right order, I suppose, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And talking about the difference, I guess, between you and him in this contemplative and activist type of mindset, and what that means and what we should do and how that looks right now as well.
Yeah, that was interesting. I appreciated the fact that he didn't just, tell the activist to stop, which is how it feels sometimes. And that inbuilt want to do something. It's not bad, is it? But it's just, we understand that we both. Yeah, I appreciated that he brought both those things together and say both are important and need to learn from each other. Yeah. What about you, activist, contemplative?
I think I'm probably an activist in practice, but that question, should we be human beings or human doings, I've always been so firm that we should be human beings. So I don't know if I need to change my look on one or the other. But
yes, because he didn't just say, "Oh no, just human beings." There's something
about
as a both and about that we do can do things as well.
But maybe like in Elijah's story, that sometimes being a human being, there's benefits. That Elijah took that time and he sat in that peace and he heard God in the gentle whisper, and refound his hope and refound his purpose. God called him, recommissioned him to something.
So you said, what was it you said about focusing on the right things or something to do with Elijah? Can you remember?
So Elijah had gone through this hard, terrible life journey, and so this guy's out to kill him, and really he says to God, he goes, all right, maybe if you just take me, it'd be better.
Yeah.
If you just
wipe
me off this planet.
Yeah.
But God totally shifts Elijah's focus right at the end, and he says, look, there's these 7,000 other believers set aside in Jerusalem, I think, or in Israel.
Yeah. Israel. Yeah.
And it's got to be a proper moment for Elijah to go, that's important.
Yeah.
That this shifting of his focus from just his own circumstances, but that were quite dire, to something else as well.
Well, I think that's it, isn't it? It's a shifting around just him looking at himself and his own circumstances and thinking it's all about him. But in the end, realising that God's got more going on in the world than he can see.
Yeah.
And I guess in that sense, allowing God to be God and not taking over and not thinking he's got to deliver everything for God to achieve his purpose.
Yeah. Which totally, I think, releases pressure from him as well. Yeah. I think sometimes, I'm sure you felt being a church leader that, I need to, I have to do this and that, and I've got to make sure that I tick the boxes in my preach on Sunday or whatever I talk about, and it becomes this checklist rather than this thing that God is just doing.
Yeah. So it's letting God do the work, and then Steve talked a lot about really the way that Jesus did what his father, what he saw his father doing rather. And that sense, and I really liked actually what he said, that's not always the same thing. Sometimes it's healing one person, sometimes it's stopping in order to help someone, sometimes it's going to a new place when everything's going well. And that freedom, I guess, to just do what you feel like the Father's saying and not what everyone's expecting of you is incredibly difficult and profound, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Especially in this time, what like, Steve talking about, what does church look like now, and how should that change, and we went on to have a little conversation about what that looks like for each of us, and now in this household, in this situation, and in his situation as well, and the fact that also us thinking about actually it's okay that that's different, and if that's different, and
What churches are doing, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that sense of comparison between what churches are doing doesn't matter. It's a matter of what's God doing what God's saying, and therefore slowing it down, finding peace, stopping, resting, and letting activity flow out of that. What did he call it? A still centre or something?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's good, and I think it properly frees up the church to do something that you said, talking about being different than so what was community like before coronavirus? What does it look like now? And that can be different, and that can be good or even better in some ways.
Yeah, we can learn. Yeah, we can learn to find community more now than anything else. So for us, when we're asking this question, what does thriving look like, and we feel really frustrated because we can't do something.
Yeah,
I think he talked about pruning, didn't he? And the pain of pruning, if you like, of when the things that you do that give you value, that you get self-worth from, are taken away. It's a good feedback mechanism to go and stop and find God and let God rest into God. Find my identity again in Him above all else, so that as activity still happens, actually, it's, we're still busy in different ways, but there are things that are chopped away that would have been value bringing for me, for example. No, let the Spirit of God give the value first of all again, operate out of a still centre, and let things flow out of that. It's a big challenge, and I think that question is really faced with us strongly in order to thrive.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we really hope that this conversation has challenged you in some ways, but also has shown you that you don't have to be looking for the things to do, that you can sit back and that be free to be a little contemplative if you're an activist, but also feel free to take a little more action.
Great. God bless you all. Hope you enjoyed it this week. We're looking forward to next week. We've got one lined up, great one lined up for you for next week. So we'll see you then.